Manchester United have just been beaten on penalties in the Community Shield by Manchester City. Lots and lots of positives to take from that game, I think. It wasn't all doom and gloom. I genuinely think Manchester United played pretty well. We should have scored a couple of goals. And I think when you consider that our back four for that game was Martinez at left back, Johnny Evans, Maguire and Dalot, I think we did pretty decent to end the game 1-1. The goal that Garnacho scored was absolutely beautiful. Obviously, Bruno scored an absolute screamer that was ruled out. Mason Mount should have scored. Rashford should have scored. There was lots and lots of positives. We created lots of opportunities. People will say, oh, well, Man City were missing players. So were we. We were missing players as well. We were missing, obviously, Højlund. We were missing Luke Shaw. We were missing Lenny Yoro. We were missing Lindelof. There's loads and loads of players that we were missing in that game. Some highlights, I thought Onana was kind of funny before the penalties. I did a little tweet earlier on today, and I swear at one point he was doing the Macarena. Where you do like this. He was doing that, and then he saved the penalty, and then he tried to do it for every other penalty, and then they scored. So he looked kind of stupid. But yeah, I mean, I'm not going to sit here and scream at the camera. It's just not what I do on this channel. I think we played decent. I do. I was pleasantly surprised with the performance. I think Marcus Rashford. Not Marcus Rashford. I think Casemiro had a really good game. Amad Diallo had a good game. Garnacho was decent when he came off the bench. A couple of other people were decent. Bruno obviously had a really good game. Rashford was quiet, had a couple of opportunities, missed a sitter. People are saying, why didn't he take a penalty? I'm not sure. I don't know the answer to that question. I do feel kind of bad for Jadon Sancho. Obviously, his first proper game back since the whole incident with Erik ten Hag, and then he misses a penalty. But anything can happen in a penalty shootout. And the fact that Johnny Evans absolutely skied it didn't really help the situation, did it? But, I'm not going to be overly critical. I think over the 90 minutes, Manchester United were the better team. Obviously, in the Community Shield, it goes straight to penalties, so there's no extra time. I think it was a great exercise out there to get the boys some minutes in their legs. And I think overall, there's a lot of positives to take from that. We go into the game next Friday against Fulham. I feel confident. I feel positive. I think Amad Diallo looks very dangerous. His first touch is absolutely breathtaking. So I can't wait to see him playing in that game. Now, I personally would probably start Garnacho over Rashford next Friday. I like Rashford. I want him to do well. I want him to succeed. But he has been very, very poor last season. And I think so far, what we've seen from him today, he wasn't amazing. And I think Rashford is a better player to come off the bench and impact games in the 60th, 70th minute. So next week, I would definitely be giving Garnacho a chance. Mason Mount obviously played as a striker today. That was quite strange. I didn't really understand that, but I imagine that Joshua Zirkzee is obviously not ready. Hopefully Zirkzee is available for the game against Fulham because we desperately missed a striker today. There was lots of moments where someone would put a beautiful ball into the box, right? And there would be nobody there to finish it. And if there was a Zirkzee or a Højlund on that pitch, we would have definitely scored a couple more goals. So yeah, overall, I don't think we can massively complain. Penalties are penalties. Anything can happen in a penalty shootout. I'm not going to criticise Sancho for missing his penalty. I'm not going to criticise Johnny Evans for missing his penalty. I mean, it is what it is, isn't it? Ederson scored a beautiful penalty. I thought we were going to get it. I would have been really, really happy with the win today. I thought it would have really set us up nicely, but I don't think there's anybody who can genuinely come away from that game feeling negative. And if you do, then I think you may as well just not bother watching Manchester United this season, because I actually think we played well. And if you've come away from that saying, sack the manager, all this stuff, you may as well just literally not bother watching football for the next 12 months, because we're going to play a hell of a lot worse at points during this season. And I think this season, it's going to be slow progress. There are people in the chat blaming Erik ten Hag for not playing Zirkzee. Zirkzee clearly wasn't ready to play. He didn't play Mason Mount as a striker because that's what he wanted to do. Zirkzee was clearly not match fit. Zirkzee only started training 3 or 4 days ago. Is that what's he called? Half of the Man City team aren't even back from holiday yet. Does that mean that Pep Guardiola's to blame because his players aren't back from holiday? Think about it. It's a pre-season game, So next week, obviously, is the big game. Next week's the week that we have to actually win that match. Pellistri at right back, that was a little bit strange, but there wasn't any other options, Who else would you have played at right back? Tell me. We don't have any right backs. Wan-Bissaka's about to join West Ham. He's not in the squad. Dalot played for the first half and then was too tired. We don't have any left backs. So all the people like, why did Pellistri play at right back? I mean, what other option did we have? We've got a super chat coming in here from V33. He's saying, patched up defence and City couldn't hit a donkey's arse with their play. Rashford too, he better get his shooting boots on. Ahmad and Garnacho to start. I would agree with you 100% there, mate. Thank you for your super chat. Ahmad and Garnacho have to start for me. I like Rashford. I want him to succeed. I want him to come into the team and hit 30 goals this season. But I just don't see it happening, to be honest. I think, when you've got Amad Diallo there, who looks absolutely unbelievable, Ahmad has to start on the right and Garnacho has to start on the left. That has to happen. So where Jadon Sancho is going to play, I don't know. I think for me, Jadon Sancho will have to be an impact sub. And if he starts getting some goals and contributing and working hard, then, maybe he can find his way back into the team. But as it stands at the moment, Amad Diallo and Garnacho are way ahead of Marcus Rashford, in my opinion. They are. That's a fact. They're way ahead of Anthony. They're way ahead of Pellistri and they're way ahead of Sancho. Like, Ahmad has to start on that right and Garnacho has to start on that left. Like, that has to happen. I'd be very surprised if Rashford starts next week. Very, very surprised. And, maybe after today's game, maybe we start getting more stories about, Marcus Rashford wanting to leave. I don't know. Maybe. Somebody says, do you agree with Erik ten Hag's decision not to play Xerxes? Xerxes wasn't fit to start the game. You wouldn't spend £35 million on a player, right? Your only striker in the squad and then not play him if he's available to play. Like, you just wouldn't do that. Why would you do that? It makes no sense. Xerxes was only training not very long ago. Like, and I just think it's just not very good that people are already trying to blame Erik ten Hag. And we've literally played 190 minutes of preseason. I don't think if your brain is wired like that, then you're going to have a very long season ahead of you. Like, that's my take on it. We have to trust our manager. And if you're already second guessing him after one preseason game, then it's going to be a very painful season for you. I'm sorry. It will be. But yeah, I think overall it was a decent performance. I have no major complaints. Man City didn't really have many opportunities. We had the better chances. Rashford should have scored. I think Mount had a chance where he should have scored. There was a couple of other chances where we definitely should have scored. Obviously, Bruno Fernandes was denied a really, really nice goal. So yeah, I definitely think that we have a lot of positives to take away from that game. I thought Casemiro did really well. I can see people chatting in the comment section. I think Casemiro had a really, really good game, and hopefully Casemiro can continue the momentum that he showed today. Because for me personally, if we get Casemiro back like he was in the first season, I think we have a real player there. We've got another super chat coming in from Akash. Thank you for your support, mate. Akash says, I'm very impressed with the patterns of play today. Plenty to be positive about for the Fulham game. Hopefully we sort out these signings. Mate, 100%. And I really like your positivity. I really like... I just respect that a lot, because there's some people today already coming in the comment section, like complaining, questioning questioning Erik ten Hag and stuff. And I think we have seen some positive moments today. Yes, it's only a friendly. Yes, Man City had a weakened team, but just remember, we had Martinez at left back and Johnny Evans and Maguire as our centre back partnership against Haaland, who's the best striker in the world, who had a full pre-season. So it's easy for people to sit there and criticise, right? But when you actually think about it logically, go back and watch the game, watch the highlights, watch the best moments. I think we had a good game. I do. And I think anybody who's criticising, then I don't know. You can criticise individual players, but to criticise the manager and say that he purposely didn't start Xerxes, like, it just doesn't make sense. He's not fit. He's not ready to play the game. What's the point in risking him? He will play on Friday. We have another super chat coming in from V33. Thank you for your support, mate. V33 says, Cass, please maintain your second half play for the season. Yeah, I agree with you. Casemiro was decent today. He was. And, that's a positive. Now, I know it's just a friendly. I know Man City didn't have their best team out of there, but Casemiro has had a full pre-season. He seems very fit. He seems ready to go. So yeah, I'm excited about that. I'm excited to see what Casemiro can do this season. I'm excited to see whether he can rekindle the form that we saw from him before. So yeah, let's hope that happens. People asking about the watch along. My computer was being really badly behaved, so I couldn't do the watch along in the end. So I do apologise for that. But you've got me here for the match reaction, and I will do a video at probably about 6:30 with like all of your latest news and stuff. Somebody in the chat says that's why Johnny Evans is the 5th choice centre back. You can't blame Johnny Evans for that. He kind of slipped and he hit the ball over the top. Like, can we really blame him for that? It's penalties. Anything can happen in penalties. So yeah, fair play to Man City. They won the penalty shootout. I think we were the better team overall. Jordan says, would you still sell Casemiro? Probably, yeah. I mean, if a massive offer came in for Casemiro, I would probably sell him, yeah. You know, if somebody offered us 40, 50 million, I think you would have to consider it. But would I sell Casemiro for a really small amount of money and push him out of the club? No, I don't think so, because I do think he will offer us something. But yeah, if a Saudi club comes in the final weeks of the window and says, you know, here's 50 million for Casemiro, I think you have to consider it. He's 32. He's not got very much left of his contract. He's on huge wages. So yeah, I probably would sell him if the right offer came in. But as I said, I'm not like desperate to sell him now, because we do need strength in that midfield, and you know, we don't have that. Right, let's see what else people are saying in the comment section quickly. Ruben says, we played very well today. I'm very proud. That's the kind of attitude I like. You know, anybody who watched that game will come away from that and think we did play well, you know? And that's all we ask for. We expect to be entertained, and we expect to, you know, to give 150% and play well. And I think we did do that today. The first half was maybe a little bit more questionable, but the second half, I think we did really, really well. So I'm happy about that. And I'm looking forward to the season starting. Obviously, we've got our first game on Friday against Fulham. So I think it's good practice for that. Great to have minutes in the legs. Obviously, it's a bit disappointing. It would have been nice to win the Community Shield. I wanted to win that game, but I'm still coming away from it feeling positive and feeling happy that from what I've seen today. But let's see what else people are saying quickly. UTIP says United need to get better on seeing out games. A lot of this happened last year. We should just go ahead and win the games we have control over. That's a very good point. I would agree with you there. You know, there's a lot of times, like you said, where we go ahead and there's like a minute left of the game, and then we somehow either lose or draw the game. And we can't really be doing that next season. We need to make sure that we see out games. We need to make sure that we, you know, don't give away needless losses, because we did do that a lot last season, to be fair. And that needs to change massively. So yeah, hopefully we can improve that. Somebody saying, why doesn't Rashford get the criticism he deserves? Rashford gets a lot of criticism from a lot of people. I've criticised Rashford a lot on this video, so I don't know what you mean. I think Rashford's probably the most criticised player in the Premier League. I don't think he could be criticised any more than he is already, you know? So, yeah, like, I think we're very fair towards Marcus Rashford. Some people take it over the top. Ant says, do you think if we had Ivan Toney, we would have beaten City today? I mean, it's all hypothetical, isn't it? Maybe. Maybe not. Who knows? We definitely do need to strengthen in the attacking areas, especially with like the striker, you know? Because with Rasmus Højlund being injured and Xerxes being more of like a hybrid number 10 cross number 9, I think we are going to have to find another striker to get some more goals. And maybe in the you know, the later elements of the window, we might go in for somebody else if maybe Sancho goes. It'll be interesting to see what happens with Sancho, to be honest, because I imagine if I go on Twitter now, I'm almost scared to go on Twitter now. It's probably going to be Jadon Sancho trending, isn't it? And it's going to be just him getting absolute abuse, which is horrible. Yeah, but overall, I'm happy. I think it was a good game. I can't complain. Played some nice football. I was entertained. Onana in the penalty shootout was funny. He was doing the Macarena. He was funny. Like, I think he saved one penalty, and the rest of the time he just made himself look like an idiot. But it was quite entertaining. But yeah, I am going to wrap the video up here. I will be back later on today with more of your transfer news and stuff. Make sure you smash a like before you leave. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you're new. This has been Daily Red Devil, and I'll speak to you all later. Bye for now.